Okay, so this is where we are at with the current marks and the situation. So last night I was able to bend this back gusset up quite a ways. I don't know if you can see my finger through the angle, but it's partially covering up the hole from the pin. So it's like here, okay? But it was still coming out straight and it bent. So this intersecting point is probably clear, but I wouldn't be able to fit a bushing that big with a lip that big. I wouldn't be able to fit a bushing here. So I took my my square and I scribed a mark 3/8 of an inch away and also a 1/2 inch. Now the 3/8 of an inch away, I could probably grind in a flat on that flange, or maybe even grind away some of the weld on the backside to make a flange fit. But if I move it just a 1/2 inch away, then I'll be able to clear the bushing the way it's designed without any modifications, and I like that idea. So I think that's where I'm going to be. Now I confirmed that I'll have about 5 inches of tilt at ground level with the arms completely collapsed. And when it's extended completely, if this was on the ground, I'm at probably about this much of an angle here. So almost, I don't know, 85 degrees, which is plenty of dump, plenty of pressure. And when I had my loader on my 10 horse tractor, it had an old pump, it had an old valve, and it had half the horsepower of this tractor. And I had even more travel, which means I probably had less leverage for scooping out of the ground. So I'm liking the way that this hole is going to line up at a 1/2 inch away from that center point, the optimum that I found. And so that's what we're going to do. So I was looking at some of these holes and realized they're not quite square. Now I think these laser plates, or these plates were lasered out, but I don't know as if they are square to each other, okay? You can kind of see that the way I'm looking, I'm just lining up the edges and then looking down. So you can kind of see that it's a little bit crooked, all right? So instead of just measuring from here down and finding a spot, measuring from here down and finding a spot, I'm going to measure from a straight edge down and scribe a spot. Measure from a straight edge here, scribe a spot. And then do the same thing. I'll find what seems to be working good there. If I put a straight edge across or something, I don't know exactly what I'll do yet to line my vertical spot on the hole up. But I want to be able to center punch every spot the same. So when I look through, I'll be seeing the other 2 holes on the other tabs instead of seeing the edges like that. So ironically, the right side tab on both sets is a little bit lower. So I'm going to reference this one on the outside there, and I'm going to reference the inside one over there. And so what I'm going to do for now is I measured up 8.5 inches to this edge, and then I'm going to be measuring down like that, and that'll be where I scribe my line. And I'll do that on both sides, left and right side of the bucket. So between my square and a sharpened piece of tungsten as a scribe and a set of calipers, I made my marks. And here I am. Now, I did want to mention something about center punches. So here's my center punch, which is, I believe, a sharpened ejector pin from my tool and die days, a long time ago. And I got a hammer, should be a ball peen, but it's at least smooth on top. So I see this all the time where someone takes a punch and goes. Now, that might look okay, but check this out. That little tap right there makes the punch bounce. So you can see that's where I started and that's where I hit, all right? So if you find yourself with a center punch and a hammer, or even a punch with letters, a letter punch, just commit. And you won't have that bounce, all right? Never do that. I don't know why, but there's another bounce. People just do the little tap first and then whack. I was just looking at the screen and not even looking at the punch, and I still hit it. I was just like, boom. You get used to these tools, and you don't have to worry about your fingers getting all smushed. Just commit. Go like that, wham, done. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So I drilled my first hole, and I was going to center punch the other side and do it. I might still, I don't know. But I just wanted to verify, yes, that looks good. I like where the drill's going to end up. It looks square to me. I might just run it and just do that. You see how I can reference, you know, that straight edge here? I could probably reference it here too on the side and know that my hole is drilled square and my hole will end up square, or at least squarer than it was. All right, now I've got both of those holes drilled and I have both of these holes drilled. Now I actually have not even looked through them, but I'm going to right now. And hopefully we'll see blue at the other end. Golly, I can see it. That's close enough.